Hello everyone. This video is on Module 2 Memory Mapping Bitband Operations and CMSIS. So in this video I am covering only memory mapping and bitband operations. Topics I am going to cover in this video are memory system features overview, memory maps, memory access attributes, default memory access permissions, and bitband operations. Memory system features overview. The Cortex M3 processor has different memory architecture. If you compare with the traditional ARM processor, so this Cortex processor has a different memory architecture. So firstly, it has a predefined memory map which specifies a bus interface to be used whenever we require the memory location. So this feature allows the processor design to optimize the access behavior when different devices are accessed. The another feature of this memory system of this Cortex M3 is the bitband support. So this provides, in this bitband, it provides atomic operation to bit data in memory or any other peripherals. So this atomic operation means which acts on a shared memory. We say that it is atomic if it completes in a single step. So relative to other threads, if it completes in a single step, we say it as atomic operation. So the next feature we have is the bitband operations are supported only in special memory regions. So this Cortex M3 memory system also supports unaligned transfers and exclusive accesses. So this feature we can see in V7M architecture. So then Cortex M3 processor supports both Little Endian and Big Endian memory configurations. Memory maps. Cortex M3 processor has a fixed memory map. Because of this fixed memory mapping, it is easier to port the software from one Cortex M3 product to another. For example, the component described in a previous module, such as Nested Vector Interrupt Controller, NVIC, and Memory Protection Unit, MPU, have the same memory locations in all Cortex M3 products. So this memory map definitions allows great flexibility so that manufacturer can differentiate their Cortex M3 based product from others. So some of these memory locations are allocated for private peripherals such as debugging components. So they are located in private peripheral memory region. This figure shows the Cortex M3 memory map. So already we have discussed about this memory mapping of code memory, SRAM, peripherals, external RAM, external device system level. So about this already we have discussed in module 1. I have briefed it out. So here this system level which address from E000 to FFFF is what a system level region. So this region contains a private peripherals including built-in interrupt controller, that is NVIC, MPU control registers, and debug components. This diagram shows a predefined memory map of Cortex M3 processor. The Cortex M3 processor has a total of 4 GB of address space. Program code can be located in code region, the static random access memory SRAM region, or the external RAM region. However, it is best to put the program code in the code region because with this arrangement, the instruction fetches and data accesses are carried out simultaneously on the two separate bus interfaces. This SRAM memory range is for connecting internal SRAM. Access to this region is carried out via system interface bus. In this region, a 32 megabit range is defined as a bitband alias. Within the 32-bit band alias memory range, each word addresses represents a single bit in the 1 megabit bitband region. A data write access to this bitband alias memory range will be converted to an atomic read modify write operation to the bitband region so as to allow a program to set or clear individual data bits in the memory. The bitband operation applies only to data access, not to instruction fetches. By putting this Boolean information, that is single bits, in the bitband region, we can pack multiple Boolean data in a single word while still allowing them to be accessible individually via bitband alias, thus saving memory space without the need for handling read, modify, write in software. Another 0.5 GB block of address range is allocated to on-chip peripherals. Similar to the SRAM region, this region also supports this bitband alias and is accessed via a system bus interface. But instruction execution in this region is not allowed. The bitband support in this peripheral region makes it easy to access or change control and status bits of peripherals, making it easier to program peripheral control. In the diagram, if you observe, there are two slots of 1 GB memory space which is allocated for external RAM and external devices. So the differences between the two is that program execution in the external device region is not allowed, and there are some differences within the caching behaviors. So in the diagram, the last 0.5 GB memory is for system level components, internal peripheral buses, external peripheral bus, and vendor specific system peripherals. So there are two segments of private peripheral bus PPB, advanced high performance bus and advanced peripheral bus. Advanced high performance bus is for Cortex M3 internal AHB peripherals only. This includes NVIC, FPB, DWT and ITM, where advanced peripheral bus for Cortex M3 internal APB devices as well as external peripherals. The Cortex M3 allows chip vendor to add additional on-chip APB peripherals on this private peripheral bus via an APB interface. Nested Vector Interrupt Controller is located in a memory region which is called as System Control Space, SCS. So this region also provides the control registers for SysTick, MPU and code debugging control. The remaining unused vendor specific memory range can be accessed via the system bus interface. However, instruction execution in this region is not allowed. The Cortex M3 processor also comes with an optional MPU. Chip manufacturers can decide whether to include the MPU in their products. Memory access attributes. The memory map shows what is included in each memory region. Aside from decoding which memory block or device is accessed, the memory map also defines the memory attributes of the access. The memory attributes which we can find in the Cortex M3 processor include the following: bufferable, cacheable, executable, shareable. Bufferable is write to memory, can be carried out by a write buffer while the processor continues on next instruction execution. Cacheable, data obtained from memory read can be copied to a memory cache so that next time it is accessed, the value can be obtained from the cache to speed up the program execution. Executable, the processor can fetch and execute program code from this memory region. Shareable, data in this memory region could be shared by multiple bus masters. Memory system need to ensure coherency of data between different bus masters in shareable memory region. The Cortex M3 bus interfaces output the memory access attributes information to the memory system for each instruction and data transfer. The default memory attribute settings can be overridden if MPU is present and the MPU region configurations are programmed differently from the default. Though the Cortex M3 processor does not have a cache memory or cache controller, a cache unit can be added on the microcontroller, which can use the memory attribute information to define the memory access behaviors. In addition, the cache attributes might also affect the operation of memory controllers for on-chip memory and off-chip memory, depending on memory controllers used by the chip manufacturers. The memory access attributes for each memory region are as follows. Code memory region. In this region, the executable and cache attributes is write through. You can put data memory in this region as well. If data operations are carried out for this region, they will take place via data bus interface. Write transfers to this region are bufferable. So SRAM memory region. This region is intended for on-chip RAM. Write transfers to this region are bufferable, and cache attributes is write back, write allocated. This region is executable, so you can copy program code here and execute it. Peripheral region. This region is intended for peripherals. The accesses are non-cacheable. You cannot execute instruction code in this region. External RAM region. This region extends from 600 to 7FFF. This region is intended for either on-chip or off-chip memory. The access are cacheable and you can execute code in this region. Another external RAM region we have that extends from 800 to 9FFF. Even in this region, it is intended for either on-chip or off-chip memory. Here also the accesses are cacheable and you can execute code in this region. Next we have external devices. Here again we have two external devices which extends from A00 to BFFF, and another region extends from C00 to DFFF. So both regions is intended for external devices and shared memory that needs ordering or non-buffered accesses. They also are non-executable regions. Next we have system region which extends from E00 to FFFF. So this region is for private peripherals and vendor specific devices. It is non-executable one. For the PPP memory range, the accesses are strongly ordered. For the vendor specific memory region, the accesses are bufferable and non-cacheable. Default memory access permissions. The Cortex M3 memory map has a default configuration for memory access permissions. This prevents user programs from accessing system control memory space such as the nested vector interrupt controller. The default memory access permission is used when either no MPU is present or MPU is present but disabled. If MPU is present and enabled, the access permission in the MPU setup will determine whether user accesses are allowed. The default memory access permissions are shown in the table below. Bitband operations. Bitband operation support allows a single load or store operation to access like read or write to a single data bit. In Cortex M3, this is supported in two predetermined memory regions which is called as bitband regions. One of them is located in the first megabyte of the SRAM region and the other is located in the first megabyte of the peripheral region. These two regions can be accessed like normal memory, but they can also be accessed via a separate memory region which is called as bitband alias. When the bitband alias address is used, each individual bit can be accessed separately in a LSB of each word aliased address. This figure shows bit access to bitband region via bitband alias. When the bitband alias address is used, each individual bit can be accessed separately in the LSB of each word aliased address. For example, to set 2 in the word that is number 2 in word data in address 200, instead of using 3 instructions to read the data, set the bit and then write back the result, this task can be carried out by a single instruction. The example what I gave you in the previous slide, so if you want to carry out that using a single instruction, so that we can see in the next diagram which is shown in the next slide, and the assembler sequence for these two cases could be like the one shown in the figure C, which is there in the next slide. So this diagram shows the write to bitband alias. Here you can differentiate without the bitband and with bitband. This example shows assembler sequence to write a bit with and without bitband. So if you see there without bitband, so if you want to write a bit, then you have to set up the address, then you have to read the data, then modify that bit, then write back the result. So if you use with bitband, then first you need to set up the address, set up the data, then just write the back the result. In the same way, bitband also supports and can simplify application code if we need to read a bit in a memory location. Take the same example, if you need to determine bit 2 of address 200, we use these steps which is outlined in the next diagram, which is shown in figure D, and the assembler sequence for these two sequences we can see in the figure E. This figure shows read from the bitband alias. Again, it has been differentiated between without bitband and with bitband. So here this shows the assembler sequence for read from the bitband alias with and without bitband. So without bitband, the steps are first you need to set up the address, then you need to read the data, and you need to extract the bit of that is bit 2. So with using with bitband, just you need to set up the address, then you have to read that bit. Bitband operation is not a new idea. In fact, it was existed before 30 years ago, which was found in 8-bit microcontrollers such as 8051. Although the Cortex M3 does not have a special instructions for bit operation, special memory regions are designed so that the data accessed to these regions are automatically converted into bitband operations. So here we need to note that Cortex M3 uses the following terms for the bitband memory address, like bitband region and bitband alias. Bitband region, this is the memory address region that supports bitband operation. Bitband alias is the access to the bitband alias will cause an access to the bitband region. So we need to note that a memory remapping is performed. Within the bitband region, each word is represented by an LSB of 32 words in the bitband alias address range. What actually happens is that when the bitband alias address is accessed, the address is remapped into the bitband address. For read operations, the word is read and the chosen bit location is shifted to the LSB of the read written data. For write operations, the written bit data are shifted to the required bit position and the read modify write is performed. There are two regions of memory for bitband operations as mentioned before, SRAM and peripherals. So both are of 1 megabyte. For the SRAM memory region, the remapping of bitband alias is shown in the table below. Similarly, the bitband region of the peripheral memory region can be accessed via bitband aliased address, that is also shown in the table below. Here is a simple example. Set the address 20002 a value of 3355 AACC. Then we need to read the address, that is 220008. This read access is remapped into the read address access to 2000. So here remapped has been occurred. So the written value is 1 because 3355 AACC bit 2, if you start from the LSB bit 2 is nothing but 1, therefore the written value will be 1. So now read is over. We now will perform the write to 200008. This write access is remapped into a read modify write to 20000. The value 3355 AACC is read from the memory. Now the bit 2 will be cleared and the result of 3355 AACC will be now changed to C8 because bit 2 has been cleared. Then that is written back to the address 2000. Now if you read 2000 location, so that gives you a written value of 3355 AAC8 because that bit 2 has been cleared. This is the reference book for this topic.